Hey gang, this is Mary Gunn of Mary Gunn Fun, founder and head professor of Fun University. Also, your intrepid hostess of Craft Roulette. This is not a card making thing, and this is just a little aside, and I wanted to just chat a minute about clubfun.com. Clubfun.com is our scrapbooking portion of our Patreon group. We are completely funded by our Patreons here at Craft Roulette, Fun University, and any other place you may find me. But anyway, we do have a scrapbooking where mostly you see me with cards, and I love cards. But if I had to choose, don't blame me. Please don't make me. Scrapbooking would be my go-to because scrapbooking has so much meaning long term. But they don't have to be exclusive. They can be both enjoyed. So these are some old scrapbook pages that I have redone recently because they were in nasty, awful, acid-eating magnetic sheet pages. And you could be able to tell that the photos have actually lost color. But I've got a few tips about scrapbooking. We go way in depth on clubfun.com, including a downloadable scrapbook lifesaver book that can guide you, break it down, make sense, help you out, help you schedule, all the different things. Plus, it has a whole video series that goes along with it. But I could go on and on and on. Let's look at some of these pages. Alrighty. These are, and I know there's going to be a glare, but these are old 1983 pictures that have been taken off, and I ended up using some old layouts that I had made for different purposes. And it's not my go-to methodology. We teach a different style of an approach to scrapbooking, but I got it done, and I had a pile of them, and I needed to use them. So I'm kissing my brain. I'm telling you that right now. Just looking briefly at these little clusters were there, and they were made. Can you guess? Were they made from a kit? Were they stickers? No, they were not. Were they cutouts? Were they cut aparts? No, they were not. They were made by using an embossing pen on pattern paper and then cut out. And white embossing powder. I think they turned out really cute, and I want to remember to do that again. I really liked having just something simple like this, happy, 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 over and over. There's lots of little tricks and things here. What I used to do, though, was I would put them in the little magnetic, nasty, photo-eating, memory-destroying books, and I would make a little note just on my old typewriter, Smith Corona, I believe, and what was going on, which has turned out to be priceless. So I didn't do a lot of journaling, but now I can go back and journal with a little more meaning. It's so funny that, the things that come back to my brain that aren't in his brain, because he was only 14 months old. He doesn't know. He doesn't remember. So, and honestly, I scrapbook for me. If they get a kick out of it later, that's fine too. But he's 40 now, so that's exciting. Quick tip on this, make sure you get some black and whites. Look at the difference in the quality. After 39 years, the colors are starting to change. The detail is not nearly as vivid. The crispness of a black and white and the longevity of a black and white in quality, it can't be beat. So make sure you do that. These were actually cut out from a little project that I did. I had them on construction paper. That's how old these scrapbooks were. But it was from a little booklet that I had made for my mother-in-law. And it cracks me up. These girls are grandmothers now. And so it's really fun to be able to look back and see them as children. And it's just precious to relive these times. This one, when I made it, here's something that I have found in retrospect of scrapbooking since I was 8. I loved the layout. Totally loved the paper. Totally loved the little doolollies that came with it. totally hate scrapbooking with it. It's just way too contriving, and it fits me into something that doesn't fit me at all. So this was just a matter of, okay, I want to use this. Okay, we got Summer Adventure. I've already locked into that, locked and loaded with Summer Adventure. I wish I hadn't done that. But I love this design. And I know that I can use that again. I love breaking up we use very simple layout foundations, we call them, in or in our Club Fun group. And they're all laid out with varieties and different ways to use them. There's also lists of ways that you can alter them in the scrapbooklifesaver.com book. This one cracks me up. It was a video camera that my dad had from school, and he was watching himself on the video, or his dad on the video camera. That's what it was like back then. So it's actually quite historic that this has been documented. You just never know what's going on now. You'll look back and go, man, that has changed. So I do encourage everybody to try something, even if it's very simple. Just try it. Just do something that's very simple. It's so fun to look back. He's a dad. It's fun. I still think of that cat. I love her so much. One thing I did find out, there were some little kid pictures, little friends, quote unquote friends of his. Their parents were my friends. But we don't have that relationship with them anymore, so I ended up not using those pictures. But what I did enjoy having was relatives that we would see. He's my little nephew, and it's really fun to see. He was quite a voracious eater. He's not any skinny as a rail now, but great fun. But all these three people are gone now, so it's just nice times to remember those moments, and they do come back. Times do change. They do. Times they are a changing. Several dogs back. I still love that boy. Look at that picture. It reminds me so much of his personality. He was a very timid dog. He'd been a rescue early, before rescues were rescues, and he was very precious. Look at just seeing that little corner of a car. We used to say it ran on 6 hamsters because it was like a rubber band wound up car, but it worked. Just precious memories. Grandpa's gone. Just good times. These were all pre-made. I used to make extensive layout guides for paper packs, and spent so many hours planning them, and then to remake them was great, but they're hard to work with. So this one is a great example of having a real basic layout, and there's just tons of room for embellishments or stories. When I look at a layout, and when I think my kids look at a layout, and those are primarily who I care about, my husband, we don't look at the stuff. We maybe notice the backdrop that's bringing in the story, making it, accenting it, or making it prettier, but we look at us. We look at ourselves when we look at a picture. That's just human nature. So I don't mind that this is a fairly naked thing. I may add a few things. It's not the most important thing in the world to me anymore. Used to be when I sold stuff. So then we moved right into Christmas. These were pre-made also. It turned out they worked out okay. What you won't see, though, in these pre-made layouts are the stuff that I covered up or pulled off and put something on top of because they were in my way. They were confining. They didn't work with the pictures I had. They didn't really enhance the photos or anything. Look at there. That was the end of a roll. Now there's a little bit of history. For those who are digital only, we used to get to the end of a roll of photos, 12 or 24 or 36 if you really wanted to have a lot. take them to, we didn't know if our eyes were closed, if the colors were great. Look see how in the shadow he is. Didn't know any of those things. Took them to the developer, and they would develop them, if you were lucky, in an hour. They weren't very good picture quality. And if you were, usually in a week. So then you would get them back. First thing you did was go to the car, rip open that envelope, and look at them. First person you looked at was you. Same thing still going on. But I love these pictures. These people are just dear to me. We don't see each other anymore because we're not near each other, but now we text. And we text often. So here's another one. I just have a few little notes. I want to come back and do my notes extensively, but I like to spend some time looking at these things, letting those little memories bubble up and follow through, and even talk with other family members to see what they remember. It all adds to make a great story. And the story is it's the precious gem. These are just, otherwise, they just are going to be things that you are looking at, how you feel about your pictures right now. You're looking at this going, he's a cute little guy. Who cares? I care. So I want to make sure that I remember what it was like. So that, and be able to tell that to via writing. It doesn't mean you have to be a great Hemingway or Pearl Buck or anybody. You don't have to be a great writer. You can do this. This was one of my favorite layouts. I just loved this. That's my problem. But because I love breakfast, I can't even remember why I made this, but I did make it for something. I think it was a fun university when it was private. Turned out, then I just went through my photos and found some things in the kitchen. And because I love breakfast, I'm going to put Ann kitchen time, because we did spend a lot of time in the kitchen. And because I cooked and we were home and it was that kind of thing. And so I just found pictures that went in the kitchen. It doesn't necessarily mean he's having breakfast. So you got to work with what you got. But I thought you might enjoy. Anyway, there's so much I could teach on each and every page. But you have to explore and find some things on your own. If you don't have anywhere to start, we do have 2 Zoom calls a month on Club Fun. There's some very good experienced scrapbookers there that can help you on their styles and their tips, plus my styles and my tips. We've got the book. We've got master classes on videos. We've got a lot going on there. And then we have scrapbook game. So if you are interested, and you know what's really also funny about this is because I don't think of myself as a scrapbooker, but I look around and I've got dozens of 12 by 12 scrapbooks made. And I don't think of myself as primarily a scrapbooker, but man, am I glad I've done it. Anyway, that was just some thoughts I wanted to share with you. So glad to have you along with us. Let us know if there's any questions that we can answer for you. And let's make some cards and scrapbooks. It's just doggone good fun. Thank you so much. Kiss your brain. We'll see you next time.